The subject I'm going to be talking to you guys about today is about Traduccion y Enseñanza de Inglés, translation as a language tool. For this assignment, I used my daughter, Isabella. She's 4 years old, and my objective here was to demonstrate that translation for vocabulary as an acquisition or learning tool is actually a pretty good idea. Okay, the aim of my activity was to teach her these 5 different words: fire, dragon, cat, house, and the word people. Okay, these are some of the main nouns that are used in a storybook that she really enjoys called San Jorge y el Dragón. What did I do? First of all, I explained to her by using flashcards and playing with my tone the vocabulary we were going to use. Then I read the book in Spanish. Note that when I was reading it in Spanish, I used the same enthusiasm and tone that I used when I explained the words in English. Okay? Now, once I finished reading the story in Spanish, I asked her to tell me her version of the story in English, what she understood, what she could remember. And I think she did pretty good. But what was interesting is I let an hour pass and I called on her again and I asked her a few questions in Spanish, but she answered me in English. And then I asked her some more questions in English and she answered me in Spanish. Now, I did not prompt for this. She did this on her own, which was curious and arose my interest. Okay, considering the advantages according to Stern and focusing on accuracy, I can now determine that Isabella was able to comprehend both the use and demonstrated cohesion to 4 of the 5 words in context. This I analyzed when she retold her version of the story in English. Okay, Soares given advice that teachers should ensure that the students translate for concept, not for form. Now, I imagine this is based on higher levels of English. Now, she's a preschool student, so she doesn't comprehend form. She doesn't comprehend grammar. She focuses mainly and specifically on concept to be able to use it. Okay, so she needs to understand what the word means to be able to use them. Now her interest is going to be at this point of her life is to getting herself across. Okay. Now, through this assignment, I can also agree with Delisle where he states that translation is a skill of interpretation and re-expression. Here, Isabella, what she did is she used facial expression. She used her body to try to get herself understood. Okay. I can also abide with Stern, where he distinguishes between intralingual and cross-lingual dimensions in language teaching. Isabella here, she used cross-lingual dimensions, demonstrating cognizance by answering the questions that I did in one language, and she answered in the other. Okay, so here's where I can determine that. In conclusion, after this exercise, I can confirm that Isabella is consciously aware of a difference between the two language systems, her L1 and L2, and selectively uses both to a means, and that translating is a tool she uses to appreciate meaning. Okay, translation is a tool for a means, and at a young learning level should be encouraged due to the fact that it motivates students when their accuracy increases by using it. Okay,
For my homework activity, my homework assignment,
thank you.
I asked my daughter to help me with it. She's 4 years old, and I've been working English quite a bit with her, and she's learning how to read barely. Okay, so it's going to be a little fun doing this with her. I've never actually worked a video with her, so this is going to be a little interesting for me and for her. Okay, the book I used is San Jorge el Dragón. It's in Spanish. It's a mini pop-up book. Okay, so it's kind of fun for her. She's really into books. She's barely learning to read. Okay, the interesting part here is that she did not acknowledge, or she was not aware of the main nouns used in this book. Like, for example, the word dragon, she did not know how you say that in English, or the word fire, or the word people, sheep, and cat. Those are the main words that I'm going to be working with to see if she can understand meaningfully the translation. Okay, I separated my assignment into 3 different moments, okay, which was before, where I elicited and explained to her the vocabulary. But before I worked on the vocabulary, I read the book to her in Spanish. Okay, during the reading of the book, I tried to work with my tone, okay, and tried to work with a sort of a TPR method. And afterwards, I asked her whether she understood by explaining to us in English the book, okay? And here I kind of worked with meaningful input. Okay, some aspects to consider here is that she doesn't know how to read. We're in our home, which makes her feel a little safer and easier to work with. Okay, my aim here is to demonstrate that the translation method or that any translation techniques can be focused or can be acquired using according to the mental or grade level, the different methods or approaches to teaching a second language. Okay, so the book is in Spanish, and I'm gonna have her learn the words in English, and then I'm gonna have her tell us the story in English, or at least what she understood from it. Okay.
Marcas.
Gracias.
Listos.
Fuera! Okay. Good morning. My name is Benjamito Peter, and she is.
Isabela María Topel Castillo.
Ella tiene 4 years old. Okay.
Yes.
And today we are going to talk about a book named San Jorge y el Dragón. It's a pop-up written by Merixel Martí and Javier Salomón by Combel Editorial. Cuenta la leyenda que un feroz dragón asolaba el pueblo sembrando terror. ¿Me lo puedes platicar en inglés?
Yes.
Ok, inténtalo.
Se dragon se poblaba en fire. In a house. Scary. The flowers is scary. Is a cat. Is a sheep. Is a sheep. Is a sheep. In a house.
The personas, the people. Okay, we have finished our recording, and now I want to figure if Isabela does understand or was it meaningful for her learning these words in this manner. Okay, so yes, okay, good. Isabela, what is house?
Casa.
What is dragon?
Dragón.
What is cat?
Gato.
What is people?
Gente.
Okay, good. And what is fire?
Fuego.
Muy bien, good job. ¿De qué color es el dragon de la historia?
Green.
Okay. ¿De qué color es el fuego de la historia?
Yellow.
Yellow, okay. ¿Te acuerdas de qué color eran las houses?
Isa. Brown. Y brown.
Brown, ¿y cuál?
Brown.
Brown, ok, buen trabajo, muy bien. Ok, gracias.
Bye.